Yes, boys, how are you all doing? And welcome back to the FK Sports channel. Today, well, deliberately I'm making this video on the Monday. You boys are going to get this Monday evening. The day after Manchester United narrowly beat Coventry on penalties in the FA Cup semi-final. I'm deliberately recording this on the Monday, boys, the day after, because, I mean, yesterday, my emotions were too high on that game, man. What we went through as United fans were put through that. I was in no place to make the video yesterday, boys, because I was just through a roller coaster of a game, man, and I didn't want any, my feelings after the game to be kind of clouded, my judgment to be clouded because of the high emotions of the game. But there is a lot to talk about Manchester United only narrowly beating Coventry in the Cup, man. I mean, we had a 3-0 lead, and somehow we only just about, by the skin of our teeth, got through that and into the Cup final, man. Over the last 24 hours, a lot of speculation and talk going around, boys, circulating around social media, about the players, about the club in general, but also particularly about the state of the manager, Erik Ten Hag, and his position at the club. After yesterday's game, I can easily go in Ten Hag and say, right, his team's bottled a 3-0 lead against Coventry, probably deserved to go out of the Cup, and we're very, very lucky to go through. And all those things are true. However, as I say, boys, Ten Hag has got many, many questions to answer. His position at the club going into next season is up in the air right now. We really don't know. Now, there's a quote from Sir Jim Ratcliffe yesterday, boys, kind of coming out and saying that, kind of hinting that, from the quote, that Ten Hag's kind of position is secure at the club. He was kind of going on about, the fans. He understands the fans' frustration. But ultimately, this is a process, and that we're going to have to stick with them, and patience is key kind of thing, right? We accept that it's a process. As I was saying on this channel in the past, boys, it's going to be a massive summer for the club. It really, really is. Incomings and outgoings, of course, but just the whole kind of direction we're taking as a club, because there's always been this kind of thing over the last decade, I guess, since Sir Alex left us, where we're always told as fans, right, we're going to undergo a 3-year rebuild, but that rebuild never really truly starts, because the actual structure behind it is never put in place to actually forge a rebuild, change in the club. So, if us as fans, but, midway through next season, and over this summer, into the next season, midway through next season and beyond, right? If we see progress being made and steps being taken to kind of force that 3-year rebuild, and we can see stepping stones towards the bigger picture here, we'll back it, right? Of course we will. The thing with patience around a rebuild is you can have patience around a rebuild, but you have to see things being put in place to kind of force it along the way, right? Because no point, the last 10 years, 3-year rebuild, but it's been a 10-year rebuild, and we're still no further forward as a club, really, if we're honest with ourselves, right? The 3-year rebuild never starts. It's a constant cycle, but the 3-year rebuild never really starts because there's not anything put in place to start it. So, if we can see things being made to change the club and to force change, then that we're all for that, of course, and that makes, if we can see that as fans, it would make you more patient as fans. But, I mean, going into yesterday's game, obviously the start of the game, right, I thought, right, Coventry have beat this Wolves team. 8th in the Premier League, might be 7th now actually, but they're a good side. They can, they've got good players. They're a dangerous team. Wolves were beating that Coventry side in the quarterfinal. Coventry showed the resilience. They came back in and won the game late on, and we know they've got threat. They've got a danger, despite being a championship team. They've got threatening players, dangerous players that can cause any team's problems. Right? We give them the chance to do that yesterday though, because we were 3-0 up. 3 goals. Probably, the football as usual wasn't great, but as you boys know, my thoughts on that. With all the problems at the club this year with, the players Ten Hag's got at his disposal, first of all, then obviously all the injuries, the changing of all kind of positions in the team, mainly the defence, of course. It is hard to kind of get that structure in place to find consistently good performances, not just results. Obviously, both this year results and performances have been very below par. But, I think yesterday, 3-0 up, the game wasn't a thriller, it turned out to be for the neutral, wasn't to start with, 3-0 up, deflection goal for Bruno's third, but ultimately, we're worthy of our lead. Obviously, he did bring off a few players. I think he brought Mainu. I think Mainu wasn't at half-time though, was he? I think Mainu started the second half, correct me if I'm wrong. It is only yesterday, but my memory's just absolutely clouded here, so forget me if I'm wrong on this, but I think Garnacho came off at half-time, yet again. Why is Rashford not coming off? Mainu comes off. It might have been half-time. I feel like it might have been later than that. Maybe the 60th minute. He brought Ericsson on for him. It might have been the 45th minute. I'm not sure at half-time whether Mainu came off. I'm not sure. Pretty much from then, the team kind of capitulated. But Coventry, you got to give Coventry their credit, right? Because they stuck in the game. Even at 3-0 down, they got that goal and then they drove from there. But we helped them out so much. You think City would do that? You think Liverpool would do that? You think Arsenal would do that? Not a chance. The game, if they get 3-0 lead, no matter how they've got it, whether they've played well or not, they're going to game manage it and see it out because they've got leaders in their team. We do not have that. We do not have that. Yesterday, whilst, as I say earlier in the video, Ten Hag has so many things to answer for, and I'm still Ten Hag in, but I by no means am I clouded by, you know, he's far, far, far from perfect, and big questions have to be asked. However, yesterday's game, whilst it would be easy to go in on them, I really don't. You know, I've went in Ten Hag in recent weeks on other results and other games where I feel like it is mainly his problems. But in yesterday's game, boys, I feel like it's on the players, man. You know, you go up 3-0 against a team like that. No disrespect to Coventry, but they're a lower league team. You should be seeing the game out, man. You should be seeing the game out, and we didn't do that. And as I say, credit to Coventry and the comeback they had, and then, you know, in the end, I'll get onto this, but I think they deserved to win it. They did. They deserved to win it. They had a brilliant second half, but we give them that. We give them that opportunity, man, by not managing the game. Obviously, we have our issues, of course. Casemiro, I thought he was all right, actually, in the first half. He wasn't amazing, but he did an all right job. Second half, though, as soon as we started to get exploited, especially that guy Hadji Wright on the wing, every time he had a chance at running Casemiro, he did it, and rightly so, because Casemiro cannot run. I love Casemiro, but oh my god, he cannot run, and his legs are gone. He got exploited, and obviously we didn't have a particularly quick back line. Obviously Maguire beside him as well, so we did get done on in that regard, and yeah, obviously they got their goals. I'll say this actually before we get on to the third goal. I just hate. I don't know whether any of you boys or United fans watching this video, get in the comments, let me know. But I watching the game yesterday, 3-2. I'm witnessing, you know, another you know, capitulation from a football club. Players downing tools again, you know, a little bit of adversity, and they can't deal with it. 3-2. Embarrassing to concede 2 goals, but we did it. Now you have to really game manage and see the game out and win 3-2. They don't do that. However, when the penalty was on VAR review, and we didn't know whether it was going to get given or not, obviously I was praying it didn't. But part of me, despite all my United bias, and of course I'm praying that the penalty doesn't get given, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, right, I obviously don't want it getting given, but there's a small little part of me that thinking to myself, right, well, Coventry, what an amazing second half they've had. They're coming back in this game with 2 great goals, and now they're up for a penalty review, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, I kind of half want this to be given, because we do not deserve, and our players yesterday, the way they performed that second half, did not deserve a get-out-of-jail-free card for that penalty to be not given. So in a sense, I was glad it was given, because it was only papering over the cracks yet again of how shit we are, really. That, you know, and there's a lot of moments this season, I hate the fact that this team, puts, you know, I'm sure myself, definitely, but I'm sure a lot of other United fans in that position where you're kind of thinking halfway through a game, we deserve all this, you know. I'm nearly wanting Coventry to get the penalty given to them, because if they don't get it, it's just papering over the cracks that we're, you know, oh, we won the game 3-2, but we're still shit. You know, I want this team to be punished hardly, because we're that bad that I don't want us getting off lightly with things, you know? If we're playing for a league title, and we're playing against Liverpool in the final game of the season, and you know, we scam our way to a win, I'm the happiest guy. We all are, as United fans. Of course we are, if our team's playing well. But when our team's playing the way they are this year, and just the things that are going around the club, and the way the play, some of the players, not all the players, some of the players are, it causes a real big dislike to the team. I find myself disliking this United team. Not all of them. There's a couple of good players in there that I do like and I do rate, and that they're part of our future. But there's a large majority of them, man, that you can just see their effort level ain't there. The late goal was a scare, of course, that we thought we were out of the cup. It would have just been typical. I felt bad for Coventry not getting it, because they would have been 4-3, and probably the most amazing FA Cup comeback, or certainly up there, one of the most amazing comebacks in FA Cup history, man. It's all about the cups. That's what the cup's about, right? So, you know, I felt bad for their fans when they thought they scored, and then obviously the VAR review on it. The VAR is up for review again, because obviously I've seen this morning different angles of it, and different people saying it, you know, it might not even have been offside. I still don't get why something on TV is shown one angle and one line, but apparently the VAR is looking at something different, like a different angle of it. So surely that we should see what the VAR sees, no? That would make sense, but apparently that's not what we always see on TV. But yeah, penalties is penalties, obviously a lottery. Both teams had a chance in the extra time, didn't they? Sims, I think, from Coventry hit the bar. Bruno hit the bar for us. But just overall arching thoughts, boys. It's just, I'm super relieved we got to the final. I don't think we'll get thumped in the final. Everyone's going, oh, United's going to get thumped in the final. We don't. We haven't got thumped at Liverpool this season. We didn't get thumped at City this season. We don't get thumped. I know, I'm not going to say we don't get thumped at big teams, because everyone will bring up 7-0 Jack last season. I know. But generally, I think the problem with our team, and that's why it's more frustrating, is that our players do turn up against the bigger teams. Not always win, not always get a result, but I don't think we're going to get smacked in the cup final. I think City will win, like they did last year. It's a repeat of the FA Cup final last year. I think we'll lose. You know, I think everyone would think we'll lose. There's, you know, we're massive underdogs, but it's a cup final. You just never know. And I'm glad we're in that cup final, because if we didn't make the cup final, boys, whenever that goal from Torp went in, and obviously we're thinking it was given at that point, I'm thinking that season over. That was always the thing with United fans going into this Coventry game. If we lose, season's over. Because we've nothing else to play for, you know? Top 4, top 5. I know it's going to be pretty much top 4 now, because the way the coefficient is, you need top 4 for the Champions League. But we're never near it. We're never getting top 4 or 5 with our inconsistent league form this year. So the cup final, the cup's been a nice distraction up to this point. I mean, I'm just so glad that we made it through and that we can kind of extend our season. At least we've got something to, well, would you say look forward to against City in about a month's time? Maybe not look forward to it, but it's a day out, isn't it? It's a day for some of the fans, and, you know, we've got a cup final to play. It's a cup final. You know, some people say going into cup finals form goes out the window. It does to a certain degree. As I say, we're still massive underdogs against City, but I think we can put up a fight. We beat Liverpool in the cup earlier in the season to get this far, so we're certainly capable, and the players will fight that day. They will. It's a cup final, you know, and that's the only thing. They'll choose when they want to fight. But I think yesterday's game, I wouldn't put it in Ten Hag, because he's bringing on, as I say, 2 experienced players. Anthony, who we paid a lot of money for. I know he's not been great, but, you know, we're playing against a championship team. Surely you bring that player on that you pay a lot of money for, and you bring an experienced player like Eriksen on, you shouldn't be collapsing the way we do. But we've seen it yesterday, we've seen it many times before, and we're probably going to see it many times again with this United team. So that's why we need a massive revamp. I'm just glad, as I say, I'm sure a lot of United fans were just relieved on this Monday, man, the day after. We're still in the cup. We're still in the cup. Something to fight for our season. Hopefully the players feel that way. Yeah, big thanks for watching, boys. I want to know all thoughts. United fans, or you're not United fans, if you're another fan, or maybe you're a neutral fan watching the game yesterday, let me know your thoughts, man, on the game yesterday, but also the wider picture on Manchester United Football Club and where you see us going. Let me know your thoughts, boys. Thank you so much for watching. As I say, going to get more and more of these videos up for you, boys. Champions League semi-finals, watch-alongs on this channel very soon as well. So, yeah, I needed this video. I hope I'm going to try and edit it as best I can. I need the rant. I wasn't even a rant. That's why I didn't want it to be a rant video, because I want to try and take things logically. And I know if I record this time yesterday after the game's just over, my thoughts would have been the same, but maybe my actions would have been different. You know, I might have been more in a ranty tone. So after, you know, with the high emotions of the game just after. So I wanted to kind of just take a day and upload this the following evening, man. So I hope you boys have enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments, of course, on all things Manchester United and football in general. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you boys in the next one, man. Peace out.